Hey, it's Mike Watson with Keller Williams here in Palmdale with your monthly real estate market statistic update for November 2022. November's been an interesting month. We continue to feel the impact that the Fed is having on our local market and the economy overall, and you'll see what I mean here pretty quickly. In November, we had 339 new homes come on the market. That's a sharp decrease month over month, which might not be a big deal at first glance. You think, well, hey, it's the holidays, fewer people want to sell, right? Of course, there's fewer homes come on the market. The big red flag is that there was almost a third fewer homes come on the market compared to November of last year. It's a good thing because our inventory isn't building up and running away like it could be, which would further perpetuate our problem. That would be if there was a big supply and demand. If supply and demand was our only indicator of the market volatility. But like I said, the Fed is playing a big part in the market and what's going on here. Number of homes to go into escrow, there was only 271 to go into escrow in November. That's a decrease from last month. It's almost half of what it was last year. The scary thing is that was the lowest number of homes that we've had go into escrow since February of 2008. That is a low number. Again, that's all going to be affordability driven, which has been highly impacted by the Fed, and they're playing with the interest rates and the mortgage rates. Number of homes to sell in November, 263. Again, pretty substantial decrease versus last month. It's not just seasonality. It was less than half of what it was last year. And again, that goes back to November of 2007 was the last time that we had a number of homes to sell that low. That is a long time ago. 15 years ago was the last time we had that few of homes sell in a single month. On I guess the good news, the bright side here, the average selling price was still $462,000. That was down slightly from last month, which was one of our record months. And it's down just a hair versus last November. But year to date, we're still up like 8%. So home values ran up and they came down, but overall they're still up almost double digits for the year. And that might seem counterintuitive with the number of homes going into escrow and closing. So I added this next slide to kind of show the impact that everything has been having. So for November, the average monthly payment, this is based on the average selling price at the average interest rate that we had for November, which was 6.8%. The average payment's $36.25 essentially. That's a pretty large payment. It's down 4.5%, and that's because the average selling price was down $20-something thousand. So the average selling price was down, 3.75%, and the interest rates came down 0.1. So month over month, the affordability improved. The average monthly payment decreased by 4.5%, but year over year, the monthly payment is up over 35%. That's crazy. I mean, that is just such a huge jump. And that's because interest rates went from 3.06 last November. And right now they're at 6.8 was November's average. And the average selling price was not far apart. I mean, you can see right here, average selling price was 0.03% different, but the interest rates more than doubled, and it caused the buyer's monthly payment to go up by 35%. And with that 35% increase in the buyer's monthly payment, our average selling price for the year is still up 8%. It's crazy, and it's all interest rate driven. And we'll come back to that in a second. But the average days on market, 46 days. That's a large number. We haven't seen that number in a very long time. For sure, pre-COVID. That was probably the end of 2018 is the last time we saw days on market in the 40s. Month over month, that's up 27.5%. And year over year, it has doubled. Again, anything under 120 days is really a healthy market. Things moving at a normal, not frustrating pace for both buyer and seller. Right now, it is still leaning towards the seller's market, and it's faster for the seller than it is for the buyer. But it's still a healthy market for sure, even though the number of homes to sell was super low and the average payment was up 35%. Our month's worth of inventory is at 2.75. It's up, a little over 2% month over month, up 56% year over year. And again, a gauge on this, a balanced market is 6 months. Anything less than 6 months favors a seller as far as negotiations are perceived, and anything more than 6 months favors a buyer. We're still at about half. It's still a seller's market. It's still very healthy. The demand is still there, even with monthly payments being, up a third, and so affordability is way down. Fewer homes are selling, and they're taking longer to sell, but they're still selling, and they're still selling even at prices that were higher than even last year. So the market is doing well. It is definitely different. It's going to be interesting to see when the Fed says enough is enough and they allow the economy to go back to normal, or they find a different way to fight inflation. But for now, that's what we've got happening, and we are thriving in spite of it. I hope you guys are doing well. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to call, text, or email. I will talk to you soon.